Chomp.
You Are Supreme Toys here, and this time we're going to be looking at Rita Repulsa from Super7's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Ultimates Wave 2. So she has the same box style as the heroes with this giant green electrified packaging. Got her little witchy mug here and this gold foil on the front. Her name on the bottom. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers logo on the back. So let's go ahead and do a slip reveal. Okay. Oh. Alright. Looky. I've got Rita. I gotta say, first impressions, I like what I see here. She looks pretty good. Wow. This actually looks really nice. Even the soft goods clothes look pretty good. This is a larger box, but it's really just to accommodate her giant telescope accessory in the back. Got her little bio here on the back. Got a picture right here. Got her bio here. After being sealed away for 10,000 years, Rita Repulsa has been freed and sets her sights on destroying the nearest planet. Unfortunately, that means Earth. She commands her allies and an unending army of putty patrollers to defeat the Power Rangers by any means necessary. Rita Repulsa looks through her Repulsa scope to keep a close eye on her evil creations when battling the Rangers. She wastes no time using her magic wand to make her monsters grow into giant beasts, laying waste to Angel Grove and the Power Rangers. Alright, let's get Rita Repulsa out of this package. Okay, here we got Rita Repulsa. She comes with a nice array of accessories. It's not too much and not too little. I feel like some of these accessories are little nods to certain episodes, but it's important that she had at least 2 of these accessories, and they certainly gave them, and that is her telescope and her staff. Now let's get Rita in here and take a look at her sculpt. I think the face is decent on this figure. I think she looks pretty good. Her head just popped off. Golly, Super7. Head's not even attached in the box. Come on. Come on, guys. Yeah, alright. So, I like the face sculpt on this figure. It's not, exactly like the actress, but it definitely gives you that Rita Repulsa look, because she was always sort of like screaming or yelling at the screen. Her hair is sculpted pretty well. The paint on her hairbands is kind of sloppy. It's, as you can see here, it's not completely painted on the brown. It sort of like rides into the gray, and some of it overflows on the top. Pretty bad paint apps in some areas. The face is decently painted. I don't see any issues there. Some of the gold lining and everything looks pretty clean. The frilled neck collar looks really good. It's nicely painted. I love the black shading around the feathers, and it looks really decent on the bottom too. It's even got the little fluff here. There is some overspray onto the fluff underneath the collar that's kind of distracting, but other than that, it looks decent. The breast piece looks pretty good. It's sculpted out pointy like Madonna, and it's painted decently actually, so I don't have any gripes there. Other than that, the rest is pretty much this soft goods robe. It looks really nice. I like how they tampoed on the gold design on the robe. Of course, she's got these big giant feathery looking silver things coming down her back. This is a really hard, rigid plastic, so that's gonna kind of affect her articulation. The chest plate covers her back and front. It isn't exactly removable. I'm not sure if they put it on and glued it on or not, but it's pretty much stuck on the figure and over the robe. Take a look under her skirt. She has some little Dorothy slippers here. I actually like these little heels. They're painted okay. They're not bad, and I think they do the job. I don't think you saw her feet most of the time in the show. And let's get a look under her skirt. So she is fully articulated under the robe, which is nice. Other than that, there's nothing special under there, unless you're looking for something. She has these bracelets on her wrists. Be cautious because the bracelets are a separate piece. So when you remove the hands, they might want to fly off. But they have this nice little gold chain, and it's the same as this side. Each of her hands has 4 separate rings that are painted completely, and the rings are actually painted pretty decently, and every hand has them. So she has 6 extra hands, and all the rings are painted accordingly. So I think she looks pretty good. Like, I'm surprised. She looks much better than, say, the Ranger figures do. But I think that's probably because the articulation's hidden by this robe. Now let's check out her articulation. Her head's going to be kind of limited, so because of the collar and things, she's not going to get much side to side. She's going to get a little bit of up and down. And of course, it'll spin. She has a bobble just like the female Rangers. So she has one at the waist. She's got one up at the upper chest and the waist, so she can get pretty decent range of motion. Probably the same articulation with the arms. Hinge, swivel, bicep cut, elbow with a twist, and then hinged and twisting hands. And as you saw, the legs are the same ball joint, thigh cut socket as the Rangers, so she can actually get her legs up pretty high. Of course, she has the thigh cut at the ball joint, and then the knee, a knee twist, and then her hinged and rocker ankles. Her joints are nice and firm and tight. The base of the robe is wired, so you can bend this accordingly to get some posability out of it. I don't think that was necessary. I think most of us are going to just have her posed, and however her legs move the robe, it's going to pretty much stay that way. But if you want to get it fashioned up to a certain point, it will hold if you bend it. I'm not a big fan of the wired capes and such, but for people who like dynamic poses and options, it's definitely there. Her accessories. She comes with her Repulsa scope. Now right off the bat, this thing is very iffy in quality. These legs are very flimsy feeling. This orb is a cheap kind of plastic. It's attached by this plastic stick coming out of it, which is flat, and it plugs into the base of the telescope. Now it's held in place pretty decently, but if you were to twist this ball too much, you might crack and break that pole. I don't really like the design. I think it looks great though. I feel like they could have easily just attached it to the legs, and that would have made the legs and everything a little bit sturdier. I'm not a fan of these flimsy legs on the telescope. This is very flimsy right here. Be careful, you might break this. This thing feels just very cheap. That's all I can say. Be cautious with this thing. I do not like the plastic quality. It feels bad, but it looks great. The paint is decent on it. It's highlighted in gold in certain areas. There isn't a lot of out of place slop or anything, though some of the lining here isn't perfect. But she needs her telescope. This is a must-have accessory for this character, and I'm glad they included it. She comes with the candle. I don't remember what it's called, but I believe this is what she used to control the Green Ranger. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been ages since I've seen this show. She comes with this green crystal. I can't remember what that is. She has the love potion that she used on Lord Zed, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And then she has the little wine glass with said potion in it, possibly, or she was an alcoholic. I couldn't tell you. Her next most important accessory is, of course, her staff. And this thing looks great. This is really good. The sculpt is fantastic. The paint and tampo on it is really clean and crisp. I love the gold, the highlights, everything looks really nice on it. It has this nice real gold chain attached to it, and it's pretty even on both sides. There's nothing terribly out of place with the paint or sculpt. Now the handle is flimsy. Be cautious. I do not trust the quality of this. It's not quite as bad as maybe the telescope, but it's definitely real flimsy here in this thin middle part, so be careful when putting it in and out of her hands. The base of the staff has this gold fade, which looks pretty good too. So this is a really great accessory, and it looks fantastic. Extra heads. She comes with her grimacing head. Ooh, the Rangers foiled me again. Oh, I hate them so much. But the same issues apply to the paint on the bands around her hair. The brown isn't completely painted over, and it runs over into the hair in certain spots. The hair does have a nice little dirty wash finish in it to help it look a little bit extra grimy instead of too glossy or anything like that. Other than that, it's sculpted well, and the paint apps on the face and the sash around her brow looks pretty good. She also comes with a Kimberly head. I believe this is an episode where she pretended to be Kimberly, and this is a pretty cool head sculpt. If you wanted, you could put this on your Pink Ranger. If anything, I would really like to see Super7 attempt to do civilian versions of the Power Rangers, because there are some very iconic outfits that they wore in the show. I'd like to see them try to pull that off. I have zero expectations as to the quality of those. As mentioned, she also comes with 6 extra hands. They're all gripping hands, but some of them are a little bit different. The paint on them is very good. I like how the rings are consistent throughout. They even paint her fingernails, which looks very good. And here's some more gripping hands. These are a vertical hinged gripping hand. There is some gold paint drip on that one hand right there. But other than that, looks okay. And she's got 2 horizontal hinged gripping hands. Now, I wish they would have given her a little bit more dynamic options for hands, but that is what it is. Of course, she has her 2 fists attached to her in the package, which leads to wonder, what can she grip with what? So, I don't think she needed all these different gripping hands, because I feel like one pair of gripping hands kind of covers it for everything. Like, if she wants to hold this candle, she can hold the candle with that hand. If she wants to hold the love potion, she can hold the love potion. And if she wanted to drink some wine, she could drink some wine with that hand. I really just don't see any reason to have 3 different pairs of gripping hands which have about the same level of grip. Of course, the most important thing is gripping her staff, which she can do. That hand's pretty loose. This hand would be very loose. Can't even hold it. And this is the same as the first. It's just a different vertical hold. So I don't really understand the need for all those different gripping hands. As mentioned, be cautious as these little bracelets will fly off. It's gonna the actual robe's gonna make it a little bit difficult to swap the hands out, because it's going to slip up and down the arm as you're trying to push the other hand into place. Let's give her staff. And as mentioned, it's kind of loose. And of course, she's like, yeah, I'll destroy the Rangers. I'm not too thrilled on the hand options. I feel like that's the weakest part so far. Of course, you know, if you wanted, you could have her watching the Rangers through the telescope. Now, swapping the head. Pop on her other head. And she's like, oh, the Rangers foiled me again. Oh, I hate their faces. This is a pretty good figure, I gotta say. I really like Rita. Rita's looking good. Rita's looking great. It's pretty bad when the villain's action figure is outshining the actual Rangers in looks and quality. She looks fantastic. This is a really nice figure. Put the evil Kimberly head on if you want. It looks kind of funky. Her tiny feet are going to make it a little bit difficult to stand. For scale, let's bring in her minion Goldar. He definitely towers over her. I think they're appropriately scaled. He looks great. She looks great. I haven't had any quality control issues with her, other than, you know, the head not being all the way on, but that's easily fixed if you heat it up. Let's bring in her enslaved Green Ranger. They scale pretty good. And another female figure, the Pink Ranger, for scale. They are practically the same scale. Let's pop the Evil Kimberly head on Pink Ranger here. I'm glad that these were released in the same wave. Then you can have Evil Kimberly. That head sculpt's actually pretty good. This face sculpt looks a little bit better than the one that came with the Pink Ranger, I think. I also like the pink hairband. The skin tone might not be exactly right, but she looks good. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. I gotta say, it's pretty much night and day between Rita and the Rangers so far. She's actually really nicely done. I love the sculpt. The accessories are fitting. Her staff, her telescope, the Green Ranger candle, the love potion, and the 2 extra heads are good. The extra hands aren't exactly necessary. I don't think she needed all those extra gripping hands. Other than some minor paint issues and maybe a bit iffy quality on some of the plastic parts, I have absolutely no issues with this figure. This figure's really good. This is higher end Super 7 stuff right here. If you're looking for a decently articulated, well sculpted, decently painted Rita, this is definitely the way to go. The brown bands in her hair aren't perfectly painted, but the rest of the figure is really good. It's really decently painted. The fact that she has the lower body articulation hidden under the robe is a bonus. I think the robe looks decent. She does have some stability issues. Her tiny feet make it hard for her to stand up, so you'll have to use a small stand or something, which isn't a problem because you could actually hide whatever you want to help her stand up under this robe and you won't see it. I'm really concerned about King Sphinx. I'm going to be very upset if there are any problems with him at all. But anyway, this has been an unboxing and review of Super 7's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Ultimates Rita Repulsa, and I am UR Supreme Toys. Thank you so much for watching.